Former Packer Bryan Bulaga. Here's Emmy Award winner Homer.
Yes, the Bryan Bulaga Homer Hour. I think the Packers, Jason will be on in a little bit, and they start rookie camp or whatever. First of all, good afternoon, Brian.
How we doing?
I'm doing fine. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm phenomenal.
What's
I'm
your
great.
golf handicap at?
I don't know. I think it's at like maybe 9.5 or something like that. I don't know.
It doesn't sound to me like you care enough to improve it.
Not really at this point in time. I mean, I'm playing tomorrow, so I get to go play some golf tomorrow.
But you're coaching and stuff, right?
Yeah, we got a game tomorrow night. So, play some golf, have some fun, but then got to go coach flag football.
All right, what's your record?
We're undefeated. Yeah.
What were you last year?
Undefeated.
Do you have any tournaments at the end of the year? Or do you just whoop up in your league and then move on? No, you go out to Texas for a tournament or something?
Yeah,
Come on, Brian, let's go.
The NFL has that regional and playoff thing and all that. Like they do that, and it's you can be really competitive. It just with the way our team is set up with the kids, they're all in summer sports and they do different things. Right. So to try to wrangle them all in and get all the families committed for summers and things like that. Because like right now, like if you go to do that tournament, you want to practice a little bit. You maybe want to throw a practice a week just to fine tune things. Like we don't practice right now.
So you're happy with how it all fits into everything right now?
Yeah, all the parents, they can get to their activities outside of the games. There's no commitment throughout the week. They just show up 40 minutes before the game. We warm them up, talk to them a little about what we want to do, warm up the quarterback, throw some routes, and then we go out and play.
All right. Are you like the Russian hockey team, like you haven't lost a game in 10 years? Or so you've been coaching this team as it goes up in the ages, or am I right?
Yeah. I mean, I've been with majority of these kids. Now, my buddy, he was initially the head coach of it, and then he said he's done. So I said, I'll keep doing it. Why not?
Yeah.
But we've been with these kids since, when Declan was in, so that's my son, since my son was in, first grade.
Okay, so how many years and how many games have you lost?
So that'd be 4 years. There's 3 seasons per year, right? Fall.
If you say
winter,
so, I don't know. 3 seasons per year. That would be 12 seasons total, it seems like.
Yeah. We've probably lost under 10.
Less than one a season.
Yes.
Okay, do people the coaches on the other teams hate you yet, or go, oh, Bulaga, God?
Oh yeah, they don't.
Doesn't bother you at all. You could
no, it doesn't. It doesn't. It doesn't bug me. I mean, I kind of felt bad this last week. We were beating a team, and since we had a doubleheader the night before, which was the night of the draft coverage, then we played again Friday. We played the same team back to back. That's the way the scheduling worked out. I don't know why. And on the night of the draft, we beat the team 61-0. It was unfortunate. Like it just,
So what is that the biggest one ever? You put 3 figures? You gone to 100 on anybody, or?
No, that was probably
So
the biggest one.
It's hard not to score, right? I mean, I don't know how many kids you have. You can't not play people.
Oh yeah, no, you play it. But see, then the next night it turned around and it was 40-6.
40-6, you won.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, man.
And the coach kept coming up to me and he was like, you guys just demoralized this last night, and the kids trying to get their spirits up today. I'm just like, I don't know what I'm supposed to say to that. Like, I'm just kind of like, by that time we'd put in.
Let me you be that coach and I'll be you.
Coach, you guys demoralized us last night. I don't know how to pick these kids' spirits
Well,
up.
You got to help me on this. I don't know what to do. You tell me what you would do if you're in my situation so I can understand what to do. We don't do anything to pile it on. We're working on things. I'm open because I don't know what to do. So just tell me what you want me to do and I'll consider it.
Yeah, that'd be a great way to put it. And you know what the problem was, that Friday night game that we won 40-6? my starting quarterback, who's really good. I mean, I think he's like 6'1"
He's made
already.
you a really good coach.
Yeah, he's like 6'1" already. He could chuck the ball the full length of the field. Like he wasn't even there. And then
So he's going to be a high school quarterback, or he's going to be a college quarterback? What do you think?
I think so. I think
he's good enough to play at Iowa?
Oh yeah, I'm going to try to get him there. But
excuse me, can I talk to him about going to Wisconsin? Can you give me the kid's number? What? Like you're creating a little back road here?
I'm going to try. If it pans out for him in high school, I'm going to certainly try. But then our second string quarterback was missing. So we played with our third string quarterback and won 40-6. So like, again, at that point, I don't know what he wants me to do, right? Because we only had 7 kids that night, and there's 6 on the field at a time. So I'm playing with 7 kids.
All right. Now, what other positions do they have? See, I would put somebody at quarterback who's never played quarterback before. Like put the center at quarterback or something like that.
So the thing about
switch positions.
The thing about this league is you have to have someone who's somewhat comfortable handling the ball because there's a rusher every play. Someone can rush the quarterback every single play. So if you put someone back there that's not comfortable even handling the ball, it kind of turns into a little bit of a.
No, I think you got to be there. Bulaga, he's the guy that beats you bad, but then after the game he says, "What do you want me to do? You got any ideas to make the game closer?" I'm fine because you understand it doesn't do us any good either.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. I wish the games were much more competitive. Like we had a couple games last year against a team. They were all 8th graders. They were all tackle football 8th graders. And the games were very physical, very competitive, a little chippy.
Yeah.
Because I have a team of only 6th graders and maybe 1 7th grader. So they're much older. Like we're the youngest team in the league by far. Like I got all 6th graders. And my son's a 5th grader, so he's playing up on
which
the 6th.
I think it's just a great thing. That's the greatest thing you can do because his kids might win, but I tell you, they know not to be too cocky because you might be good at football, but these are older kids that will.
Oh, they'll put you straight.
Yes, yes,
they'll put you straight.
Right, and that's an important thing to learn and know.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It definitely. Believe me, I learned that in 7th grade. When I played up with the 8th grade team and I got the snot kicked out of me for a full year.
Yes.
It was not fun.
Right. And even if you're really good and a skill more than a lineman, you only go so far in terms of talking trash because you might be the best football player on there, but you'll come home with some other injuries if you shoot your mouth off too much. And that's an important thing. That kids, if they play in the same age, they're the star every year, and it's horrible. But
no, it doesn't work. We've looked at it, and two, my buddy and I, who now coach the team, who I'm playing golf with tomorrow, actually, we've talked about this because his son Andrew's just a year older than Declan is, and we started in their age group because it was an age group that was like age group 3rd grade to 5th grade, and we did that for 1 year, and we were like, we can't do this anymore. Like we have to go play in 6 to 8. Yeah. And that was when Declan was a 4th grader and his son was a 5th grader.
And it's good they let you do it. Some leagues they don't, which I think is just crazy.
Correct. But yeah, this guy allows us to do it. And that first year in 6-8, I mean, I think we only lost a game because that was in the finals. We lost, but they learned a lot. Like they lost in the finals, and it was good. It was good for them to lose. Like, you know what I mean? Like you don't get to win everything. That's the way it goes. You don't get to win, especially against older kids. You don't get that. So good life lessons, in my opinion.
All right. Jason Wilde is on assignment now until 5:30, but that's fine because we're going to take a break. And I think I'm assuming you remember after you get drafted, right? You show up in Green Bay pretty soon after that. They have kind of a rookie camp.
Oh, yeah.
With things like that.
Yeah.
All right. I want to discuss Bryan Bulaga rookie camp next.
More of the Homer Hour coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
slowing down right now on 41 southbound, basically from just before Good Hope Road all the way down to Capitol Drive. The northbound side is backing up from Watertown Plank Road all the way up to Appleton. Eastbound on 94, we got backups from 70th Street all the way to 35th. Westbound 35th Street to Mitchell Boulevard, then back on the brakes through the Zooter change all the way to Moreland Road. That earlier accident, westbound 94 at Moreland, has been cleared. Southbound 894 backing up out of the Zooter change down past Lincoln, then back on the brakes just before Beloit Road down and around the Hale to about Forest Home. And checking the TMJ4 Storm King forecast. Tonight, showers early, clearing with frost. A low of 36 at the lake, 30 inland. Tomorrow, partly cloudy and cool with isolated showers, a high of 48. For the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
All day, every day. The Cardless Talk and Text line is open for you.
We're not trying to get from A to B. We're trying to get from A to SB, as in the Super Bowl.
800-990-3776. The Cardless Talk and Text line. This is more.
When you're high, you feel different. Pretty obvious, right? You think different, talk different, but if you feel different, you drive different. So if you're high, just don't drive. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
From large manufacturer to local pizza shop and every business in between, Summit Credit Union helps your vision take shape with loan programs, great rates, and strategic solutions. Whatever you're building, you've got this. And Summit Credit Union's got you.
Hail damage? Siding Unlimited is here to help. We are not the storm chasers. That's important. Siding Unlimited doesn't chase storms. However, if the storm comes into our area like it just did, we're always available to help. Why is that important? Storm chasers skip town, leaving you with a roof with zero warranty. Siding Unlimited uses a roofing system that will get you a 50-year warranty on parts, pieces, and workmanship. Siding Unlimited will be there if you have a call down the road. Siding Unlimited is your local family partner on this project. We're here for you. Siding Unlimited. New roofing, siding, windows, and doors. Call Siding Unlimited or visit sidingunlimited.com today.
Burkhardt Sporting Goods in New Berlin is the baseball lover's destination, with a massive state-of-the-art indoor training facility featuring hit tracks with precision analytics, a huge open turf area, and all the best training equipment you need. So get in here and get ready to get better. And we'll help you with this special offer. Buy 20 batting cage credits for $30. That's 25% off. This is Bryan Burkhardt, and if you love baseball and softball like we do, you can't beat Burkhardt. 153rd and National. If you plan on draining buzzer beaters, the place to start is Burkhardt, where you'll find a great selection of residential basketball hoops from the best brand, Gorilla. We'll handle the installation and take care of everything to make it easy from start to finish. And right now when you buy from Burkhardt, standard hoop installation is half price. You can't beat that. This is Bryan Burkhardt, and when you love basketball like we do, you can't beat Burkhardt.
Hey, it's Jason Wilde for Racine Danish Kringles, the official pastry of ESPN Milwaukee. Mother's Day is Sunday, May 10th, and you could send flowers again. Or you could be the hero of the family and send a Kringle. We're talking flaky, buttery, melt-in-your-mouth goodness delivered right to her door in a beautiful Mother's Day gift box. Go classic with her favorite flavor, or go big with a heart-shaped Kringle topped with pink icing. It's fresh, it's delicious, and best of all, you didn't have to bake it. Go to Kringle.com or call 1-800-4DANISH.
Truck crash? Call Gruber offices. One call, that's all.
This is the Homer Hour on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
The Bryan Bulaga Homer Hour, Jason Wilde coming at 5:30. And now we have, I think it's called Rookie Camp. After the draft, they have some gathering, and Bryan Bulaga did that. Probably had to be tough when he realized he lost $13 million because he wasn't drafted when he thought he was. Just so you know, Tauscher just says it all worked out. And I go, no, it didn't. Never works out. And if you made $1 billion, you still lost $13 million that day. Can't get it back, right?
It's hard to recover.
Yeah, you can. Like I said, other things occurred where you earned a certain amount, played a certain level, but it was a unlucky day and a bad day. It wasn't your fault. But I know if I were you, I'd just say it sucks. Worst day of my life, given the amount involved. Now, Now there's so much, maybe I don't know how they feel it. All right, so now you go into rookie camp. I want to know your attitude there, what it was like, because I think there's the thoughts people would think is, hey, you're a first-round pick. Everybody's going to think you're going to be good, so you have to be good. You feel that pressure. I don't buy that. I would think if I was you, I'd go in and right away I'd be curious to see how good am I, what kind of adjustment is this going to be. And the day I would remember is the day I went, I can do this. I'm not being cocky, but I can do this. Yeah. But that's me being Bryan Bulaga, which, of course, is not like Bryan Bulaga being Bryan Bulaga. I could be totally wrong.
Well, I mean, I think for a big part of that, you're correct. You want to go in and test yourself and see where you stack up to other guys and other draft picks, right? Like you want to see how you fare, right? It's not the veterans there, right? So you don't have those guys, but you're there with fellow draft picks or free agents, whatever it may be. So that it's an opportunity to be tested. And I was obviously nervous to start because you're going in. It's a brand new experience, new people, new environment. The biggest thing I was nervous about is you go out and you practice 2 days, and you got to learn the playbook. And then you regurgitate the playbook.
All right, hold on. What is the difference? You had a playbook in college. What's the difference between the playbook in the pros versus college, and is it really that much different?
Yeah, I mean, the verbiage is all completely different. I mean, the verbiage is completely different. It's a crash course. So you essentially go in there. We'll just say, I don't know what days it ran. We'll say practice starts Thursday, Friday. You get there on Wednesday. You do meetings Wednesday. You install the first thing you're going to do, and then you go practice it the next morning. So, like, you're in your hotel room literally just studying this playbook.
But they got to be understanding to know that you're not going to know it really well, or maybe they get on you pretty good even the first day. Well,
they get on you pretty good the first day. I mean, we'll just put it. They were.
And I'm going.
The first
I
day.
just got the book last night. Come on.
No, yeah, they were on us right from Jump Street, and I mean, and obviously there's going to be mistakes with certain things, and whoever's playing center probably isn't going to ID things correctly, so it's going to look a little mismatched.
I know you remember. So what mistakes did you make, if any?
I don't know if I made mental errors. I think I made probably I didn't cut off a guy in the backside well enough or something like that. But I remember my pass protection being pretty good.
Yeah.
I remember run blocking being pretty good. And this is different. You know, this is back in 2010 when there weren't as many rules during OTAs in these rookie minicamps. I mean, these things essentially were live, no tackling, obviously, but they were physical. They were full go. That's not the way they do things now, and I can't wait to ask Jason that because now they do walkthroughs. It's ridiculous.
Explain.
But it was a very
hold on, back up. Explain what. So there's no contact or what?
Yeah, I mean, to my knowledge, last year they walk through plays.
And you think that's a waste of time because it doesn't give you an
idea?
It's
a waste of time. I mean, you're not. Those guys aren't getting anything out of that. It's moving in slow motion.
You want it done at as close to full speed to understand what it's going to be like when you're playing, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So the picture is moving fast, and you have to make adjustments in split seconds and do things fast. It's like you walk through things. I mean, you can have no idea what you're doing and make adjustments as you're walking through. That's what I mean by that.
Right.
You could have no clue. The ball gets snapped. You turn your head. You see where the guy next to you is blocking. Well, I must have to go here, and you just go there.
So is walking through of any value, or are there other times that you do it that it serves anything?
I think it's good for when you're in season for the guys that know what's going on and you're installing, right? You're going through certain looks, certain things that may be cloudy during install, right? Like you're in the meeting room and things don't look right. You're like, hey, we got to walk through this so we can get a better picture of how this is actually going to play out. And if it's possible that we can do this, or can I climb to this line? If I can't climb to this linebacker in a walkthrough, how am I going to do it in full speed when he's moving? Those are the certain things that a walkthrough kind of gives you that opportunity. And for the quarterbacks too, it allows them to see the picture clear and take their time with it and see a look and then make adjustments to it and do things like that so that when they get full speed, they've already got that mental picture in their head of what it looked like and they're more comfortable making that adjustment. But that's not something that you do on the field. Like the Packers have their indoor crick thing that's up by the weight room that has the big projection screen, and you either put live bodies out there or the screen pulls up fake guys and the fake people are in front of you, and you do that. And then when they hit a clicker and then the picture moves and the guys move in live speed, and then you have to make adjustments to it, which is really nice. It's actually really cool. But if you do that in rookie minicamp, you're not really learning anything about the guys you just drafted.
So why do they do it?
My guess is always going to be for injuries.
Oh.
They're going to say injuries. These guys have been training for the combine. They haven't had a break, and we're not going to get them out here and run them full speed and this and that.
But they practice even less now. There's more need or more reason not to walk through than there ever was before.
I agree. And my whole thing is like, yeah, they've been training. They're probably in the best shape of their lives right now, if anything. They're probably the most fit they've been ever getting ready for this process. I mean, at least that's my guess. So there has to be some full-ish speed periods to kind of see what guys are about, right? See if they can absorb that knowledge that you just taught them in the meeting room and then go out there and do it, like, and make adjustments to an offense and communicate, do things in full speed. Like,
so was there anybody that wowed you that you thought, damn, this kid's good, or I don't know. And maybe you don't have any time to notice anybody else. I don't know.
I mean, well, because he was a defensive lineman who stood out was Mike Neal, just a massive human being. And at the time he was playing.
He was from Purdue, I think, right?
Yeah. And at the time he was playing D tackle. Remember, he shifted to outside linebacker.
Excuse me, sir. There are almost all massive human beings.
Yeah,
but among massive human beings, he still seemed like a massive human being.
Mike was built like a Greek god. We'll just put it that way. Like just absolutely shredded. And
so he should have been really good. He got hurt, it seemed to me.
He did, yeah. But then he made it. He lost weight, then shifted out to outside linebacker later in his career, and that's kind of where he stood. But when he first got to Green Bay, he was a D tackle, and my God, dude, that was like I felt bad for the guards. He was just bull rushing dudes and just.
Now, you had never faced him when he was at Purdue, or am I missing up something here?
He was never outside at Purdue.
Oh, okay.
He was inside at Purdue, so I played him. I mean,
but you never had to deal with him to know.
I mean. Probably on like a double team, a B scoop or something like that. Like I would with the guard, you'd block him, but never him on the edge as like a defensive end. So seeing him work up close and personal was impressive. But trying to think of other guys like and who stuck out, like you saw speed right away from Sam Shields, like how fast he was.
Right, and he wasn't even a draft choice, right? He was
No, and who was also impressive was Morgan Burnett. Morgan was in that draft class. He was awfully impressive. So there were guys that stood out there like, yeah, they're really good football players. And I played Morgan in the Orange Bowl, my last game of the year. He was on Georgia Tech, and we played them in the Orange Bowl. So I knew about him, and I knew how good of a safety he was and how good of a player he was. Now, in the bowl game, we never came in contact.
But when you're doing, I've always said this, so you can tell me if I'm wrong, but when you're setting a game plan, you learn pretty much who the stars are on the other team based on kind of what you do or don't do, or am I exaggerating that?
Oh yeah. No, you're very aware of the guys. You're aware of the guys. And like in that bowl game, they had Derek Morgan, the defensive end that I went against a lot of the game. He got drafted in the first round by the Titans. And Morgan Burnett was on that team. Obviously, he got drafted by Green Bay. So, like, you were aware of the good defensive players' game planning. So, like, when he got drafted to Green Bay, I was like, that kid's really good. Like, he's a really good player.
All right, we will continue this, and I might actually remember. But Jason's going to come in a little bit. But before we do, I wanted to ask you this because Van Ness, the Packers exercise the fifth-year option.
Mm-hmm.
I never would have done it in a million years, and here's why. This is not about his ability or life. This is, I want to see how he plays with everything on the line.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to see what happens because I don't know. I just want to see that. And if he plays really well and we lose him, I'll take that risk because the benefit of feeling what I think might get the best out of him, this is a year where we can use that, and we need that.
Yeah.
And if I end up losing out because after that he plays really well, then I can offer him an extension, and maybe he doesn't want to, whatever. I like putting the pressure. I wanted to do that kind of the coach and the GM and see how they react. I think it can be really good, but I just think it's necessary because there have been a number of things. He's been hurt. He hasn't been, whatever. Dude, it's on the line now. Let's see how you do when we're talking about millions. You got a Bulaga on the line. What's that? I'll let you know. That's the $13 million he didn't get because they didn't draft him at the right time. So who knows? Okay, he doesn't get the extension, but this year could be worth what? $20 million to him.
Correct.
Because they know, and then they have to decide: will he do it only when it's on the line? I don't care. I just want to see him do it and see how he reacts. But they don't think
agree.
that.
I agree. I mean, listen, whatever you say about him injured or he didn't do this and do that, like some of that's out of his hands with the injuries, like some things you can't avoid, but like we'll just say what it is, like it hasn't been overly productive in his time there. So like, this is a bet on, like you almost look at it as a player as betting on yourself.
And I would tell him, we like you. And we're taking a risk because you could play really well and you might not be here anymore. I'm willing to take that risk because I want to see what you'll do. And then who knows, maybe we'll be the one that gives you the big money. Game on, buddy. Talk to you later. I got to go play golf. I don't know. With a position coaches aren't important enough to talk that way, are they? The 2 years?
No.
No. The
GM Campy would have had those conversations because he had that relationship with guys, but not all position coaches had that relationship with their guys and things like that. So again, and I'm fairly certain this is another new D-line coach, correct? If I'm not mistaken.
I don't follow the position. We'll ask
he's had
Jason.
A bunch of those.
You guys can discuss that. I want you two to discuss it. You and Jason can talk about that, and I'd be interested to see how that works. The Bryan Bulaga Homer Hour with Jason Wilde next.
The Homer Hour is back after this on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
We've got southbound 43 backing up from about Capitol Drive all the way down through the Marquette interchange to about Chase Avenue. The northbound side's backed up from Lincoln all the way to Locust. We've also got the bypass slowing down out of the Zoo interchange down towards Greenfield Avenue. And then again from just before Beloit Road down and around the Hale interchange to Forest Home. We've got that construction zone on the Rock Freeway. The southbound side is slowing down about 1.5 miles past Racine Avenue, and that stretches all the way down towards Highway 83. The northbound side is backing up just before Highway 164 to about Crowbar Drive. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast. Tonight, showers early, clearing with frost. A low of 36 at the lake, 30 inland. Tomorrow, partly cloudy and cool with isolated showers, a high of 48. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Spring has arrived in the Geneva Lakes region, and there is no better place to welcome the season than the award-winning Lake Lawn Resort. Enjoy lakeside dining at 1878 on the lake, golf for all ages and abilities at Majestic Oaks, relaxing spa experiences at the award-winning Caladora Spa, and endless recreation opportunities along the resort's 2 miles of shoreline on beautiful Delavan Lake. Plan your spring getaway today at lakelawnresort.com and come find out for yourself why everything is better at the lake.
Feels like the world is a little broken lately. Maybe all we need is a fix. Most spirits are acidic. Fix Vodka is different. Fix Vodka is the world's first high-alkaline, acid-free vodka. Handcrafted with natural spring water and select grain. Clean, smooth, done right. Better water, better vodka. Get your local fix.
Fix Vodka.
Enjoy responsibly.
I checked Allstate first and saved hundreds on my car insurance. Really smart. Unfortunately, I didn't check if I took the gas hose out of my car's tank. Ooh, not smart. And I drove off while still attached to pump number 3.
Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds.
Potential savings vary, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate North American Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Hi, I'm Zoe, a personal stylist at Macy's Herald Square, and I live for our friends and family sale because I can say yes to the brands my customers have been eyeing, like BCBG, 30% off, Kendra Scott, 30% off, Steve Madden, Levi's, yep, 30 off. And yes, there's 15 off Macy's Beauty and Fragrance too. Yes, you can also sign up for Star Rewards and earn faster at Macy's Friends and Family today. Savings off regular and already reduced prices. Exclusions apply.
Life's better with American Family Insurance because we know you love working weekends. If it means working on your dream home, both inside and out. And we're here to help protect those dreams so you can enjoy peace of mind. Save up to 40% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products, pricing, and availability vary based on where you purchase insurance and by state. Some exclusions apply. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating companies, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
We have standards in Wisconsin. Cheese should squeak. Sports and tailgating go hand in hand with brats aplenty. And beef is a delicacy where each bite makes you close your eyes for a second. For 50 years, Bunzel's has been hand-selecting the finest beef, making homemade specialty sausages, and crafting award-winning jerky right here at home. Because Wisconsin is still cattle country, quality isn't optional. It's expected. And after 5 decades, Bunzel's still delivers. Stop in today at 90th and Burleigh or at bunzels.com.
You're listening to the Homer Hour on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app. It's time for Jason Wilde on the Homer Hour on 94.5 ESPN.
Oh, yeah, what an opportunity. Jason Wilde on the Wilde Yuengling Hotline, the Bryan Bulaga Homer Hour. Bryan Bulaga is somehow associated with Yuengling as well. We all are, but he is not technically on the Yuengling Hotline. It is the Bryan Bulaga Yuengling Homer Hour. I just invented that. Take it away, Doc.
Jason, good evening. How are you?
I'm good. How are you guys?
I'm great.
So good,
I'm
man.
great. So let's just cut right to it. What's your take on the Van Ness option getting picked up?
Yeah, I mean, I think they feel like, just like they did when they drafted him, that he's got a lot of really good football ahead of him. And he's had a little bit of good football in his 3 years and had his, fair share of injuries, missing 7 games last year with the foot injury and then obviously sitting out the JV game in the finale. They obviously think that he's going to blossom sooner or later, but that's also what they drafted him on, right? That after never starting a game for your Hawkeyes, that he would, really eventually become the player that he had the potential to be. I think last year, if you look at his pressure numbers, they're pretty good, right? He only had 3 sacks, but he only played 9 games. And they certainly need someone like him to play at a high level as the running mate to Micah Parsons, and on top of that, just to be productive on his own. So I think I was not completely surprised by it, but I was a little bit surprised by it just because now they're committed to him in 2027. They could theoretically trade him, I suppose, if he has another season like this year and it's not what they're hoping for. But they clearly believe in him, and certainly more so than maybe some other folks do, because I think there's a lot of skeptics that took this news as surprising and confusing.
Homer brought up a good point before the break before you got on. Are you kind of surprised that they didn't make him play without it to see how he played when you got to risk it all?
Yeah,
when everything's
put some
on the
pressure
line?
on. Come on, let's see what you can do.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say that I know Lukas Van Ness especially well. So I can't speak to whether, he's someone that will respond to that, or is it possible that he's one of those guys that would respond to not having to worry about it, right? And maybe it puts his mind at ease, kind of like, look at what Christian Watson did last year, right? Like, I'm not sure we knew what Christian Watson was going to do when they signed him to that contract, and I would say that he had a pretty good second half of the season, and he didn't have to worry about getting a new contract, right? He signed that kind of, what was it, $11 million or whatever it was that deal was, and it really kind of set his mind at ease, knowing that he was under contract for this coming season. Maybe that's what Lukas Van Ness needs, right? And now he doesn't, none of these guys want the fifth-year option. They want the lucrative, multi-year, huge signing bonus, lots of guaranteed money type contract. But when you've had the injuries he's had, maybe this gives him some peace of mind. Again, I'm not going to pretend like I know him very well. He's not one of the players that I've gotten to know. He's certainly not a player that confides in you when you're trying to talk about something that's more kind of in-depth and maybe be vulnerable. That's not his game. So I'm not going to pretend to know what makes him tick. But I guess I really thought that he would, they would make him do exactly what you guys are saying. And, you played with a guy in Nick Perry who had essentially 3 disappointing seasons as a first-round pick in 2012. And then they didn't pick up the fifth-year option for him. And then he had a career year playing on a contract year, right? And he had double-digit sacks, and he got a big extension then. And then he went back to being the guy he was before. So are you any better off there? Like, I would argue that looking at where they're at with him, I would, if you're not sure, which I get the sense that you and Brust and Kyle and others feel, if you're not sure about him, in this way you're tied to him for one extra year, right? He already had him under contract this year. Now he's under contract for 27 at $14 million, which is, it's not that expensive if he's going to get you 8 sacks. So I don't look at this as this sort of like incredibly big mistake. Like, I don't know, how do you look at Rashawn Gary's contract? Because if I'm only tied to a guy for a year, in addition to his first 4 years as a rookie deal, I'd rather do that than sign a guy to a lucrative extension and then be kicking myself that I overpaid for a guy.
But why do you even have to do it for the year, Jason? I don't.
You don't have to.
I know, but why?
First,
I mean, they did.
Because they believe in him. I mean,
but I can believe in him and not do it. I can say go it, and I can give him an extension during the year at some point, right?
Well, let's rewind during the Goody era. So Goody's first year was 2018, right? And so he would have his first round pick that he would have decided on. They would have been Demarius Randall, right? Which they didn't pick. He got rid of him before he even had to decide on Demarius Randall. Then the 2016 pick was Kenny. That was a no-brainer, right? 2017 they didn't have one. 2018 was Jair, and he obviously picked it up there. 2019 he picked up both, right? He picked up Rashawn Gary and Darnell Savage. Darnell Savage was clearly a mistake. They then ended up signing Gary to an extension before it got to the fifth-year option, which is what these guys are hoping for. 2020 was Love. He did not get it, right? They signed him to that kind of half-measure deal. 2021 was Stokes. They didn't sign him to it, or they didn't give him the option. 22, they split it, right? They gave it to Wyatt. They didn't give it to Quay Walker. They tried to sign Quay Walker to a multi-year deal, couldn't do it, and now they've chosen to pick it up on Lukas Van Ness. So it's kind of an uneven, track record for Goody on picking these up. I did not expect them to, but I'm not floored by it on this one. But again, his numbers are what his numbers are. He has 8.5 sacks in 3 years. right?
Mhm.
And that is not enough. And you can tell me that he had a 22% pressure rate last season, which is good, but he only played in 9 games. That's like the folks that keep telling me that Benjamin St. Juste was the highest rated corner in the league while playing zone coverage or something, some analytic number. And that's great, but he played 35% of the Chargers snaps. And if he's
Yeah.
only playing 35% of the snaps, I want to see him when he plays 90% of the snaps and still be the highest rated zone coverage guy. So I want to
So
see
what's
Lukas
my
Van
question?
Ness
What's
play.
the risk?
Well, again, that money is obviously guaranteed once they get to the 5th-year option, right? Like he's guaranteed that now either way.
Right.
But that doesn't mean he's going to be on there. And I'm not saying that they signed him or they gave him the option and then are going to trade him. But there are ways, like if there's another team that thinks more highly of him, they theoretically could trade. Again, I don't think that's what they're looking to do. I think they think he's going to stay healthy. He's going to be really productive. I'm just telling you what they think.
Oh no, and I'm
whether
just
we
this is
agree
a
with them or
general
not,
question, and I think the same thing and go, okay, we'll address it as the season goes. What's the fear of no, we can't do that, Homer, because if we do that.
Well, the fear is that you don't give him the 5th-year option, and he has like a 15-sack season lining up opposite of Micah Parsons, and then you have to pay him significantly more with a $50 million guarantee. I mean but again, I don't have any evidence to tell you that that's what's going to happen. Now, I would also argue that if he's going to have Micah Parsons for the whole season, or all but the first couple of games with Micah Parsons, and he stays healthy, I think he's probably going to have a double-digit sack season because, frankly, Rashawn Gary should have had one. I mean, he should have had double digits before Micah got hurt. So yeah. I think their thought is that that's what he's capable of, and they think that that's what he's going to do. Now, it doesn't mean they're right, but that's their reasoning. And I'm super curious now that they've done this to see whether or not he lives up to what they're expecting, or if they look back on it like they did with. I mean, look, they basically kept Darnell Savage for an extra year, even though they didn't really want him anymore. Like they knew he wasn't good enough, but they were stuck because nobody was going to trade for him, and they'd given him the 5th-year option, so no one else wanted to pay him that either. So they were on the hook. You might as well keep him on the roster. That could happen here too. Like it could be, yeah, well, I guess we got him for another year after he has 4 sacks this season. But I'm just telling you what their reasoning is, and we can all disagree with it, and we can all scratch our heads, and they could very well be wrong. Like, Goody is not infallible. He's gotten plenty of things wrong. He's got a lot of things right, but he could be wrong. And, the other thing about this, it's much easier to not pick up the 5th-year option on a guy that you maybe didn't draft, right? Like, he might have been in the room when Ted picked Demarius Randall and been like, what the hell are we doing? Like, this guy's terrible. So that one's an easy one to turn down in 2018. As to guys that you actually picked, his reasoning for Quay Walker was that the linebacker number was too high, but that they wanted him long term. And his actions did match that. They did try to sign him to an extension. So I don't know, maybe, and the most fascinating part of all this is that Eric Stokes was one of the guys they didn't pick up the 5th-year option on, let him walk in free agency, and then he had his best year somewhere else. So yeah. How do you account for that during the year that would have been his 5th year in Green Bay?
Yeah. Do you think that this is a lot to do with Gannon as well and where Gannon's going to deploy him?
So I just saw Steno because his daughter's in this track meet along with Maddie, and we were joking about how it's nice to see him because I haven't met the defensive coordinator yet. But I think they're really excited about Gannon. Like okay. I think there's certainly the way things went for him in Arizona. I can understand why fans might have some skepticism. But I get the sense that the people in the building think really highly of him. and are really excited about what he might be able to do with this defense. So, if Gannon likes him, and again, they're going to a 3-4, right? And you can say all you want that when they're in sub packages, it's just it doesn't matter if it's a 4-3 or a 3-4, fine. But maybe they also see this as a better fit for Lukas Van Ness too. I don't know. There were times last year where I thought their plan was to put him inside a bunch, and then he got hurt. I mean, I think he could be a pretty good inside rusher. And I wonder, these are all questions that we'll have to ask him the next time we talk to him. But, does he have to alter his body again now, right? Because he came in 23. They were a 3-4.
Yep.
The last 2 years, they've been a 4-3. Now they're back to a 3-4. I mean, I'd be curious. I know that there was talk about him. They call it the cheetah package, and the idea of having him as an interior guy was something that they were intrigued by. But again, he missed 7 games last year with the foot injury, plus didn't play in the finale. He only played in 9 games, so they never really got to unveil everything they had for him. I don't have a time machine, but I'd be curious what his season would look like playing with Micah Parsons and playing a full 17-game schedule. Because if you asked me who would I rather have, Lukas Van Ness or Rashawn Gary, I would pick Lukas Van Ness, because I still think there's a chance that he's better than what we've seen. Whereas I kind of thought we'd realize that Rashawn Gary was who he was.
Yep. Rookie minicamp coming up. Is this going to be another walkthrough for 2 days?
Tell them how you feel about that walkthrough. Come on, Brian. Don't leave the best part out.
Yeah, it's a waste of time, obviously.
Thank you.
But
yeah, I always liked what McCarthy did. They had 2 practices. It was a very trimmed down, minimalist playbook. But he called it the rookie orientation camp, and it was more about just, all right, here's where the cafeteria is, and kind of getting guys familiar with kind of the world that they were stepping into. And so I just, the idea that this is some sort of meaningful session, I'm just not on board with that. But again, we get to see one practice or whatever you want to call it tomorrow at 10:45, and then we get one access period with the guys in the locker room, which you can't talk to everybody, even in a 6-player class, because there's undrafted guys I'd also like to talk to. Don't get me started. I think
come
the way
on,
Mike did it was much better.
Doc, get him started. Come on, get him started.
Well,
we got 2 minutes left.
Well, it's just, it's walkthrough. You don't, it's a nothing burger, in my opinion. You don't learn anything about anybody. How can you?
Well, I always say that, and this is, I shouldn't say I always say this because it's not my original line, but it was Ron Wolf's line, and Ted used it too. It was, you can't rule anybody in, but you can definitely rule people out. And remembering the first minicamp, and they didn't do them separately with just the rookies, but Tausch's first minicamp as a rookie in 2000, they had a 5th-round pick they picked as a punt returner. His name was Joey Jamison, and he couldn't catch punts. So we're standing on the sideline, and Ron Wolf is standing next to a bunch of us, and I can't use the actual word he used when I quote him here, but he turns to us watching Joey Jamison drop 7 punts in a row. Guess I effed up that pick.
He was cut then, right?
No, they kept him through training camp, but he was cut at the end of training camp.
There we
they
go.
knew.
All right.
And so the reason why Brian's point matters, by the way, before we go, is that it would be nice to do enough at this camp where you actually can at least rule guys out, right? Now, you can't even get that kind of intel from what they're doing.
No, you have no idea. You can't even determine, is this a huge project or does this guy have something? And this is just against rookies. This isn't even before you introduce them to the vets.
Right.
So if they can't hold their weight against just the rookies, how are they going to do it when the vets get there? And that's always the very interesting part that I've found that they've shifted to, is this walk-through mumbo-jumbo that's slop, in my opinion.
All right, we got to let you go, Jason. The mumbo-jumbo, whatever. I love it.
I like ending it on mumbo-jumbo.
Yes.
All right,
thanks.
guys. Take care. Be good.
Jason Wilde, Window Nation. Spring is a great time to open your windows, but maybe they won't open. You probably haven't taken care of it yet. They leak, they're cracked, they need repainting. During Window Nation's The More You Buy, The More You Save sale, you could save up to 50% off, plus you could get 0 interest for 5 years. And learn about Window Nation. They've been around. It's a family business. They've been everywhere. They're coming to this area so they can help people and do it as well as they have in other cities. Ask them about it. And as a proud partner of the Brewers, ask how you could score a pair of Brewers tickets. Best way, use your money, invest, make your home better, and do it with the people that have been doing it a long time everywhere. Family business. WindowNation.com now to book a consultation. More Bryan Bulaga on Walkthroughs next.
More of the Homer Hour coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
You may know someone with multiple sclerosis, but you may not know what their day-to-day reality is really like. MS affects nearly 1 million people in the U.S., impacting far more than mobility. MS can affect vision, thinking, energy, and daily life, often in ways others don't see or understand. This MS Awareness Week, take a moment to learn more, share what you learn, and be a champion for people living with MS. Learn more at nationalmssociety.org/awareness.
Mother's Day is coming up, and if you want to do better than just flowers this year, the Jewelry Center has you covered. From necklaces and diamond earrings to custom pieces, their team makes it easy to find something she's actually going to love. And right now, when you spend $199 or more, you'll receive a free bouquet of flowers May 7th through the 9th, so you can take care of both at once. It's where I've gone for gifts over the years. Make this year the one you planned ahead. Visit the Jewelry Center in Greenfield, Brookfield, Burlington, or Mequon.
When Milwaukee families need help, the United Way is there, reducing barriers to employment, providing transportation, safe and stable homes, and more for over 192,000 people.
And this month, CUNIS is proud to stand beside them. Hi, I'm Bill Eater with CUNIS of Milwaukee.
And I am Tony Avery with the United Way of Greater Milwaukee and Waukesha County. During the CUNIS Drives Milwaukee 1000 event, they're donating $100 to the United Way for every vehicle sold.
Our goal this month is simple: 1,000 vehicles across 3 CUNIS Milwaukee dealerships.
For a $100,000 donation to the United Way of Greater Milwaukee and Waukesha County.
To help us reach our goal, you'll find incredible deals on all new and pre-owned vehicles at our 3 locations in Greenfield, Oak Creek, and Hope Chevrolet on West Metro Auto Mall.
Be a part of Driving Milwaukee Forward at the CUNIS Drives Milwaukee 1000 event.
Start your search today at CUNISMKE.com. That's CUNISMKE.com.
Wisconsin weather doesn't ease into spring. It keeps you guessing. That's why your windows and doors need to handle everything. At Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, we build for year-round comfort. Now get 0% interest until 2030. That's years of no interest, so you can upgrade now and pay over time. Plus, enjoy a free in-home consultation, expert installation, and a 10-year limited warranty. But order by April 30th. Schedule today at PellaWI.com.
The only thing that tops our selection is your savings discount liquor.
According to American writer H.L. Mencken, a well-stocked bar can create over 17 billion different cocktails. Hi, this is Marie from Discount Liquor. I don't know if 17 billion is accurate or not, but I do know that Discount Liquor is the place to find everything you need to be well-stocked for any occasion. Discount Liquor is Wisconsin's home to over 2,000 varieties of beer, 3,500 types of liquor, and over 8,000 wines. Our unparalleled selection is rivaled only by our incredible savings and everyday low prices. And we know how to take care of our customers, no matter the occasion. In fact, Discount Liquor has won numerous national and local awards. Visit Discount Liquor at our Milwaukee or Waukesha locations. Family owned and operated since 1960.
The only thing that tops our selection is your savings discount liquor.
In Milwaukee on 51st in Oklahoma, and in downtown Waukesha on Main and Barstow. Check out our specials at discountliquorinc.com.
This is Coach Greg Gard. I've lived my whole life in Wisconsin, and I know what people here value: hard work, honesty, and looking out for one another. That's exactly how Bank CMG approaches banking. They combine hometown values with modern tools to help people make confident financial decisions. When you want a bank that understands where you're coming from, Bank CMG makes sense. Visit bankcmg.com or stop by your local branch. Let's get to work.
You're listening to the Homer Hour on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Fisco Auto Body, I tell you about them so you'll like me. Here's how it works. Fisco Auto Body on Forest Home in Franklin. On Forest Home in Franklin. That's the only reason I tell you about them, but it's part of it. It's a family business owned since 1931. It's not what they do, it's who they are. And the Fisco still own the business, so they are working on the cars. They haven't traded. They still do it. It's them. They're still working on the cars. Imagine how long they've been doing this. That's one of the reasons they're so good. Fisco Auto Body on Forest Home in Franklin. Expert workmanship guaranteed for the life of your vehicle. Any damage, Fisco has you covered. You go there, you thank them, and at some point you'll go, wow, guess I have to thank Homer too. Fisco, 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 so you remember the name. Yeah, walkthroughs. That's what we learned about Bryan Bulaga. Anything else in life you don't like as much as you don't like walkthroughs?
We're talking walkthroughs during rookie minicamp.
Correct. I should have clarified that.
Yeah, those are a waste of time.
Does your team you coach do walkthroughs?
No. No.
I don't think it's just rookie training camp, rookie camp. I think this is a fundamental flaw. And I think if you're ever a coach and someone asks me, so what are you going to tell me about Bulaga? No walkthroughs. You mean like, no, there'll be no walkthroughs ever.
I mean,
unless you're in a hotel or something.
Yeah, I mean, they got to be at the minimum 50% speed.
Yeah.
So there's some reality to the situation, right? Like, so there's.
I'm listening. We don't do walkthroughs for this show. Tell them. Yeah, do we do any walkthroughs for this show?
No, we do no walkthroughs. This is all
100%.
Yeah, this is all, reaction.
All right, back to the 50%.
But, at least that gives you the opportunity and the coaches and for the guys in general, if you're doing something at least 50% and you blow an assignment, it's going to be shown because the defensive guy is going to run through and the mistake will be very clear. That's not really the case if you're just walking through something. You have no idea. And like I said earlier, you could make that correction on the fly in a walkthrough. You can't do that if you're going a little bit faster. So, yeah, they're just unless it's in season and you are installing for a defense or an offense and there's certain looks that you need to see to see it clearly, there's no point to them. They just don't do anything. They should be at the minimum 50% speed and then ramp up from there once you get going.
And now, the Discount Liquor Twitter poll question. How many sacks will Lukas Van Ness have this season? 0 to 4, 5 to 8, 9 plus. I voted 5 to 8, but I'm open.
I'm in that 5 to 8 category. Yeah, it could go up based on how this defense looks. What kind of defense is this going to be? It could go up if that shows itself early.
See, I will discuss this in the future, but I'm slow to believe that we're going to do this, and then all of a sudden a player changes. I just am not sold on something making a player dramatically different than before. Because that means the last system was so terrible, but he could prove me wrong.
I mean, I think it's just based on how he's deployed. How you're lined up, what your responsibilities are.
That means how would you deploy somebody and be stupid at how you deploy them, especially if they've been on the team a little bit? Don't you have a pretty good idea of...
Well, they were running 4 down. What if Gannon goes to a 5 down, they kick him into the 3 tech, and he's one-on-one all the time inside against the inferior guy that moves laterally. And before he was out on the edge against tackles. And say you bring a pressure. So now you're bringing 6 against 5, and he... Right. I mean, it just... There's certain things that you want to see before you're like, yeah, I mean, he is who he is. I mean, in certain systems, he could be better, but maybe not.
I'm open. And as it can be and should be with the Doctor of Football, Bryan Bulaga, we now go to ESPN National. He won't say it, so I will. In progress.
Whatever you do, make sure you do it right.